Hey, beautiful Gemini souls. Welcome back to Cosmic Blueprints Astrology. I'm Sino, and today we're diving into February 2026 for all my Gemini Sun, Moon, and Rising signs. So, Gemini, February 2026 is asking you to get serious about your dreams, your career, and the legacy you're building in the world. So, this isn't a month for surface level conversation or mental gymnastics. The cosmos is challenging you to commit, to go deep, and to take responsibility for your aspirations in ways you may have avoided before. So, we've got major transits this month, including Saturn entering your 11th house of community and future vision, a career activating solar eclipse, Mercury retrograde in your career sector, and the once in 36 years Saturn-Neptune conjunction that's asking you to manifest your dreams into tangible reality. So this is powerful, life-changing energy. So grab your notebook because you're going to want to take notes on this one. Whether you're a Gemini Sun, Moon, or Rising, this forecast will help you navigate one of the most significant months of 2026. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a cosmic update. Your support means the world. All right, let's decode February 2026 for Gemini. So we begin February with a full moon in Leo on February 1st, illuminating your third house of communication, learning, local community, and mental activity. Gemini, the third house is your natural domain, ruled by Mercury, your planetary ruler. So this full moon is bringing completion and clarity to how you communicate, what you're learning, and your relationship with your immediate environment. So Leo energy is confident, expressive, and creative. So this full moon is asking you, how can you communicate with more heart and authenticity? What knowledge or skills have you mastered that are ready to be shared? Where do you need to step into a more authoritative voice? This could manifest as finishing a writing project, completing a course of study, having an important conversation that brings closure, or receiving recognition for your ideas and intellectual contributions. The third house also governs siblings, neighbors, and local community. So pay attention to what's culminating in those areas of your life. Leo wants bold self-expression without apology. This full moon might be showing you where you've been dimming your intellectual light, playing small with your ideas, or not owning your expertise. It's time to speak with confidence and share your knowledge generously. For some Geminis, this could also involve decisions about short trips, changes to your daily routine, or shifts in how you engage with your local environment. Whatever surfaces around the full moon, it's asking you to communicate from the heart, not just the head. Then on February 3rd, Uranus stations direct in Taurus, moving through your 12th house of the subconscious, spirituality, dreams, and hidden realms. So Uranus has been retrograde since September 2025, and during that time, you've been internally processing unexpected spiritual insights, unconventional approaches to healing, or revolutionary ideas about your relationship with the unseen aspects of life. Now that Uranus is moving forward, these insights can be integrated more consciously. Uranus in the 12th house brings sudden awakenings, breakthrough moments in therapy or spiritual practice, or unexpected liberation from unconscious patterns that have been holding you back. The 12th house can be elusive and difficult to grasp because it operates beneath conscious awareness, but Uranus here is like lightning illuminating the darkness. You might have sudden realizations about self-sabotaging patterns, experience spontaneous healing breakthroughs, or feel called to explore alternative spiritual practices that break with tradition. For some Geminis, this could manifest as creative or artistic inspiration that comes from deep within the subconscious, dreams that provide important guidance, or the courage to release old fears and psychological patterns that no longer serve you. Uranus direct gives you permission to embrace the unconventional in your spiritual life. Not everything needs to be understood logically, and sometimes the most profound healing comes from surrendering to mystery. So Mercury enters Pisces on February 6th, followed by Venus on February 10th. So both planets are moving through your 10th house of career, public reputation, life direction, and professional achievements. Now here's what's interesting, Gemini. Mercury is your ruling planet, and when it moves through Pisces in your 10th house, your usual sharp, logical approach to career and ambition becomes more intuitive, imaginative, and inspired. Pisces energy is dreamy, compassionate, and boundless. In your career sector, this invites you to approach your professional life with more creativity and vision. What would your career look like if it was guided by inspiration rather than just strategy? How can you bring more meaning and purpose to your work? With Mercury here, professional conversations might become more soulful and less transactional. You might find yourself drawn to career paths that involve creativity, healing, spirituality, or service. This is beautiful energy for artists, writers, healers, or anyone whose work involves channeling something larger than themselves. However, Mercury in Pisces can also bring confusion in professional matters. So details might be harder to pin down, communication could be unclear, and you might struggle with boundaries at work. The key is to use this energy for vision and inspiration while being careful about practical details and agreements. Venus in your 10th house brings grace, charm, and attractiveness to your professional persona. So people are drawn to your vision and inspired by your approach. This is excellent timing for networking, building professional relationships, or presenting your work in ways that highlight its beauty and value. The 10th house is about your legacy and how you're remembered. And with both Mercury and Venus here in Pisces, you're being asked, what do you want to be known for? How can your career be an expression of your most compassionate, creative self? Then on February 13th, Saturn enters Aries and begins a 2.5 year journey through your 11th house of friendships, community, social networks, hopes, and dreams for the future. So this is one of the most significant transits of the month, and it will profoundly shape your social life and your relationship with collective goals over the next few years. So Saturn is the planet of structure, maturity, responsibility, and long-term achievements. And when Saturn moves through your 11th house, it's asking you to get serious about your friendships, your community involvement, and what you're working toward for the future. So the 11th house is where we find our people, contribute to causes larger than ourselves, and envision the world we want to help create. So with Saturn here, you're being asked to evaluate which friendships are built on solid foundations and which are superficial. What communities truly align with your values, and what are you actually willing to work for when it comes to your hopes and dreams. Saturn can bring a certain pruning energy to the 11th house. So friendships that are not authentic or reciprocal may naturally fall away. Or you might feel called to step back from social groups that drain your energy or don't reflect who you're becoming. So this isn't about isolation, it's about quality over quantity in your social connections. On the flip side, Saturn in the 11th house can bring incredibly meaningful friendships with people who become like mentors or who share your commitment to building something lasting. So you might take on leadership roles within organizations or communities, or become the person who brings structure and sustainability to group endeavors. The 11th house is also about your hopes and wishes for the future. So Saturn here is asking, what do you truly hope for? Not just for yourself, but the collective. Are you willing to do the long-term work required to manifest those hopes? Are your goals realistic and achievable, or are they just pleasant fantasies? This transit rewards commitment, authenticity, and maturity in your social sphere. By the time Saturn leaves your 11th house in 2028, you'll have a core group of genuine friendships and a clear sense of what you're working toward in terms of your contribution to the world. Then February 17th brings a powerful new moon annular solar eclipse in Aquarius, landing in your ninth house of higher learning, philosophy, travel, expansion, and your belief systems. So eclipses are cosmic accelerators. They bring sudden shifts, fated encounters, and quantum leaps in evolution. So solar eclipses especially mark powerful new beginnings, though they often require releasing something first. So this eclipse in your ninth house is opening a new chapter in your quest for meaning, truth, and expansion. The ninth house is about broadening your horizons, whether through education, travel, spiritual exploration, or exposure to different cultures and philosophies. So Aquarius energy is progressive, innovative, humanitarian, and future oriented. So this eclipse might bring unexpected opportunities for higher education, sudden travel plans, or exposure to ideas and perspectives that completely shift your worldview. So for some Geminis, this eclipse could manifest as enrollment in a degree program, receiving acceptance to study abroad, publishing or teaching work that reaches a wider audience, or connecting with mentors who expand your understanding of what's possible. The ninth house is also about your personal philosophy and belief systems. So the eclipse might challenge outdated beliefs, introduce you to new spiritual or philosophical frameworks, or inspire you to share your wisdom and knowledge with others in more formal ways. So pay attention to any insights, opportunities, or encounters around this eclipse date. The seeds planted now will continue to develop over the next 6 months through August 2026. So your perspective is expanding, your horizons are broadening, and you're being guided toward experiences that will fundamentally change how you see the world and your place in it. The Sun enters Pisces on February 18th, joining Mercury and Venus in your 10th house. And then on February 20th, we have the extraordinary Saturn-Neptune conjunction in Aries in your 11th house. So the Saturn-Neptune conjunction is one of the most significant astrological events of 2026. These planets only meet once every 36 years, and their meeting in your 11th house is profoundly transformative for your relationship with community and collective vision. So Saturn represents structure, reality, discipline, and material manifestation, while Neptune represents dreams, ideals, spirituality, and the dissolution of boundaries. So when they come together in your 11th house, they're asking you to make your dreams for the future tangible and real. This conjunction can manifest as finding your spiritual community, connecting with people who share your highest ideals and are actually willing to work toward manifesting them, or bringing structure and discipline to visionary projects that previously felt too idealistic to achieve. It's about bridging the gap between what you hope for and what you're willing to build. It's about finding friends who inspire your spiritual growth while also supporting your practical goals. It's about taking your humanitarian impulses and giving them concrete form through committed action. The shadow side of Saturn-Neptune can bring disillusionment with groups or communities, confusion about your role in the collective, or difficulty distinguishing between genuine spiritual connection and escapism or delusion. So some friendships might dissolve if they were built on fantasy rather than authentic connection. This conjunction is asking you, Gemini, what do you truly believe is possible for humanity's future? Are you willing to do the work to help create it? And can you hold both pragmatic realism and inspired vision simultaneously? This is powerful energy for anyone involved in social activism, community organizing, creative collaboration, or work that serves the collective good. You're learning to dream with discipline. We then close February with Mercury, your ruling planet, stationing retrograde in Pisces on February 26th, still in your 10th house. And on February 27th, the North Node forms a semi-square to Chiron. So Mercury retrograde in your career sector is significant because Mercury rules your charts, and this retrograde is asking you to review, revise, and reconsider your professional direction, your public image, and what you're working toward in terms of your career and life purpose. So, this isn't the best time to launch major new career initiatives or sign important contracts. Instead, use this period to reflect on whether your current career path truly aligns with your soul's calling. Are you doing work that feels meaningful? Is your public persona authentic? What needs to shift in how you approach your professional life? You might revisit old career ideas during this retrograde, reconnect with former colleagues or mentors, or have important realizations about past professional choices. So Pisces energy makes this retrograde more intuitive and emotional. So pay attention to how your work makes you feel, not just whether it makes logical sense. This is also excellent timing for revising creative projects, refining your professional vision, or doing behind-the-scenes work that will position you better when Mercury goes direct. The semi-square between the North Node in Pisces and Chiron in Aries brings attention to old wounds around recognition, authority, and your sense of purpose. Chiron in Aries represents wounds around self-assertion and having the right to take up space, while the North Node in Pisces is calling you towards spiritual surrender and trusting in something larger than the ego. So for Gemini, this might trigger old pain around being taken seriously, having your ideas valued, or feeling confident in positions of authority. Perhaps you've been wounded by criticism or felt you had to prove yourself intellectually. The invitation is to acknowledge these wounds with compassion while recognizing that your unique perspective and communication gifts are exactly what the world needs from you. So these wounds are surfacing now because they're ready to be healed, especially as Saturn begins its transit through your 11th house, asking you to step into more mature leadership within communities and collaborative efforts. Gemini, February 2026 is asking you to commit to your vision and get serious about manifesting your dreams. With Saturn entering your 11th house, you're beginning a journey of building authentic community and working toward goals that truly matter. So the solar eclipse is expanding your horizons and challenging your beliefs. Mercury retrograde in your career sector is giving you time to reflect on whether you're on the right path. This is not a month for staying on the surface or keeping things light. The cosmos is calling you deeper, asking you to commit, to take responsibility, and to align your daily work with your highest aspirations. So your cosmic homework this month is reflect on your career and life direction during Mercury retrograde. Evaluate your friendships and community connections with Saturn's mature lens. Stay open to new perspectives and learning experiences that expand your worldview. And most importantly, start giving structure and practical form to the dreams you've been carrying. Thank you so much for watching. If this resonated, please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Drop a comment below telling me what you're experiencing as a Gemini. I love hearing your stories. But until next time, stay curious, stay committed, and remember, you're not just living under the stars, you're made of them. Keep well, beautiful souls, and I'll see you in the next video.